Hi. Good evening to each one of you present here today. My name is Tejashri Acharya, and I'm a parenting expert, a child counselor, and an early childhood educator. So today I'm here to share my insights on a very important and an interesting topic, that is raising a child's confidence. Raising a child's confidence. I know it seems to have a very big word, and it's a broader concept also. But today, I want you all to just share these 30 minutes with me. And if at all, I request you to kindly have a paper and a pen with you. You can jot down certain pointers that might help you. Today, as I share my insights, there would be certain things that you might connect with. There will be certain things that you would like to adapt to. And there might be certain questions that you will have to ask me. I have my Instagram page named as Joyful Minds. You can connect me there and I shall be happy to help you. Before we go ahead, I would like to share a quote by Michelle Obama. It is said that your success is determined by your attitude and by your confidence. And I really believe that it's very important for someone to have confidence because that is something that portrays who you are and what you do. 20, 25 years down the line, we never had something called as confidence building classes, public speaking classes. And we people now struggle. At times, even I struggle to go for a talk on the stage or to speak in front of different people. It becomes difficult for our children also. But I always think, and this made me realize to research more on the topic, where I got to know that confidence emerges at the age of 4. When a child is 4, they actually sense confidence by simple things like whom the child likes to play with, which game does the child likes to play, how happy was the child in the school. All these small things helps in building confidence. But we as parents need to understand that confidence starts at home. Yes, before the child approaches school, confidence building happens at home. So you, me, teachers, facilitators, educators play a very important role in building a child's personality. Now, since parents and facilitators are listening to me, I would like to share some tips on the same. Confidence building is very important, but at the same time, how do we do that at home with so many different people living and with different environment that is there at our place? So I would like to say that first of all, you need to have a connective relationship with your child. Only when your child is connected with you, the child feels secure to you. There are certain insecurities that your child would like to share with you. Unless and until you're not connected with your child might not even come up to you or speak up to you what the child is facing or fearing to share. So very first thing is connection with your child is very important. Before we try to inculcate or before we try to teach them certain things, always remember to connect with your child. Number 2, as you've connected with your child, then try to correct your child. But how do you correct your child? As in when I speak, just imagine or reflect throughout the day what all things happens at your place or what all experiences do you give to your child. Just imagine how many times do you tell your child that, don't run, don't shout, don't scream, don't jump. अरे ऐसे नहीं करते, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा. This continuous, talking or this continuous saying no to a particular thing also reflects. How? I'll tell you. When you keep on telling certain things, children are not in your control. Children at a particular time will stop listening to you. So your words will lose your value. And at the same time, your child might not listen to you. But when your child is connected with you, your child is in a better position to listen to you. And also, when you overcorrect less, your child happens to pay attention to what happens when a particular thing is happening at the moment. So for example, if you've told your child to not jump over the sofa or else he might fall, when the child is connected with you, The child is in a position to listen to you and also follow it. When the child is not listening to you, or it's not in your control, or if you overcorrect your child, what happens is your child is not going to listen to you, number one thing. And number two is that you might feel guilty, itna bol diya, nahi bolna tha. At times, you might lose control over yourself too. So overcorrection has to be less, connection has to be more. And if you are correcting, be very, very mindful of what words you are using. Because when you use certain words, it describes their weaknesses. When you describe their weaknesses, it highlights more. So when you say certain things like, na bola tha, don't scribble on the wall, don't scribble on the wall, you're still doing that. That means that you are not telling them what not to do, but you are pointing out what the child is doing. In this case, child is absorbing whatever you are saying. The child knows that what is happening is wrong, but child does not know what to do at this particular point of time. So you need to be very mindful, because whatever negative you talk about your child, the child is going to absorb that, and those negatives are going to keep on increasing. So when I talk about these things, you need to be mindful about your words. You need to be selective what to speak and what not to speak in front of your child. What conversation would you like to have with your child? Harsh words, or the tonality of your words might also affect. In this case, it might shatter their confidence and they might go back to their own shell. So you need to be very careful while you speak with your child. Another thing is that praise while you raise your child. Praises comes a long way. You and me as adults, we still need praises. While we are working for someone else, we want our bosses to appreciate our efforts that we've put in for some work. Them as children, they need our praises too. When I say praise, I believe that when you praise your child, the praise has to be a genuine praise, Don't just praise for the sake of praising your child. Always have a genuine praise for a particular activity. So for example, if your child has colored, and if the colored part is not correct, or if if the apple is red for you but for the child is of different color, appreciate that. Appreciate what the child has actually done on that paper, rather than what you feel is right at that point of time, because that child has come up to you to show you what he has actually done and not what you are expecting him to do. So that is something that you can do while you're praising your child. Number two is, when I say praises, parents always tell me that, if I keep on praising him, my child keeps on expecting more praises. If I, continuously praise him, there are times when I feel like I don't need to praise him, or there are times when I feel that this is not right, but still I have to give him a false praise. Please don't do that, parents. Whenever you false praise a child, the child knows कि उसने ये बात नहीं किया है. For example, if your child is attending any classes online, and if the child cries, or if the child is not ready to attend a class, at this point of time, if you say that, you attended the class today, it's a very good thing. I really like how you attended the class, but child knows that मैंने तो class attend नहीं किया, I was crying, I did not wanted to attend the class. This will create a wrong impression. What I want you to do at this moment is, even if your child has sat for 5 minutes, you need to appreciate that point of time. You need to appreciate the time that your child has actually invested. For example, if your child has completed homework, or if your child has just done a part of the homework that is given, just appreciate that much. When the child feels appreciated, when the child feels seen or heard, the chances are that the child might do the things repetitively. You and me also do the same thing. We as adults still crave for praises. There are people, maybe in our home, or a simple example. Whenever you cook something, and if everyone in your house praises you for that, don't you feel that you will make that same particular dish again and again for them? Or you would feel that just because they liked it, I want to make it. That's the same with children. Children don't understand so many or so big emotions. All they understand is, I felt good when I heard these things. So when they feel good about certain things, they tend to do it repetitively. And when they tend to do it repetitively, they master that skill. When they master the skill, they become more confident in doing certain things. Confidence is nothing but self-acceptance, self-awareness, or a feeling that I know I can do this better, a feeling that I know this much and I can present this to the world. So always praise in a way that is acceptable, that is genuine, and that looks, when the child comes forward to you, that see, Mama, I have done this today. See, Dad, I have done this today. All these things happens at home. Have an environment where you have spoken to your child, you've spoken to the family, spoken to the family members, how the child is going to be in the environment or what to speak at that particular point of time. Um, the next one more thing that comes up to me is that when we're talking about praises, when we're talking about connecting, correction, always remember a very basic thing, that is, have realistic expectation. When you have realistic expectation with your child, your hopes from your child also is satisfied. Many a times what we want is, we always see what others are doing. We see that so and so child is in so many activities. If that child is capable of doing so many things, why can't my child also do it? So that's the reason you enroll your child in different classes, and what happens is, your child may or may not enjoy many of those classes. You need to understand what your child likes. You need to understand what interests your child. You need to understand what is your child capable of doing. I am not saying that, don't push your child to do better or don't let your child explore new things. Of course, you need to do that. Of course, you need to give them different exposure or different opportunities where the child grows. But at the same time, understand what is acceptable for your child, what your child can do, what is the personality of the child, what the child is liking to do the most, or where the child is interested more to do, what are the things where the child spend most of its time in doing. That will help you to analyze and then enroll your child into certain things that will help him gain more confidence in doing that particular task. Having realistic expectations is very, very important. I recently had a case which I would like to share with all of you. So there is this joint family and there are two children in that family. The elder one's age is 3.10 and the younger one is 2.8. 3.10 has already started writing and is writing at a very good scale. 2.8 at the same has a different type of personality, knows the pencil grip, knows how to write, but still is not ready to write. There could be different reasons. There could be various of things, various of opportunities. There could be parents who are giving exposure to the children. There could be time that a parent is spending with that child. It is very false or very wrong to label or compare your child with some other child. It had happened that the younger parent, the 2.08-year-old parent, had come to me saying that my child is not able to write. When we sat with the child, when we sat with the parents, we came to know that the parent is working. We came to know that the amount of time that the child is spending on writing or doing fine motor activities is comparatively less. The child is still learning. There are different developmental milestones and the child is still developing at this scale. On the other hand, the elder child is enrolled into some different school. The pattern that the school is following is different. The exposure given to the child is different. The child is more into writing and into more fine motor activities. All these things impact. Now, in the whole scenario, what had happened was the younger one was continuously told to write, unknowingly that the child is still learning. What was happening was that the child was not even ready to write it on the given 4 lines. The child still needs a broader paper. So there are different factors that are underneath of what is actually happening at home. So please don't compare unless and until you know all the factors. Please talk to someone. Or if you need help, we are always there for you. You can connect with us. We'll be there. There was no case of counseling in this, but still the parent need to understand the insights behind the developmental milestones of a child. There was one more case which I would like to share with you all, was that a parent is talking to someone on call about this child. The child is in the other room, but it is audible, okay? The child can hear what the parent is talking. So the child is saying that, the parent is saying that, ये बहुत शरारतें करता है, ये कुछ सुनता ही नहीं है, हाँ अभी ये मारने भी लगा है, हाँ ये ऐसे भी करता है. What is happening to the child who is listening in the other room? The child is listening to all that the parent is saying. The child is accepting that, because you are, as a parent, affirming those behavior in front of the third person. Even though if the child has to improve, the child will think, kya faida hai? My mother is saying, or my aunt is saying, or my grandmom is saying, मैं तो ऐसा ही हूँ, मैं तो ऐसा ही करता हूँ. I am not going to improve because I have never heard my parents or my family saying good things about me. I've always heard somebody ex-parents saying that, this child is much better. My mother always tell me that X person does very good in all these things. My friend is very good in drawing. My friend is very good in writing. But my mother never speaks about what good things do I do. Or my teacher does not tell about what good things I do in school. Then why do I need to do if nobody is listening or nobody is observing? Child at this age is under pressure. We need to understand what environment we are giving to a child. We need to understand that the child is yet learning different kind of emotion, is yet learning different things. And what we are giving to the child is just accepting it. Before we educate a child, it is very important for all of us to educate our own self. Please do that, and only then go forward with that. So, as and when I was talking to you about confidence, I gave you 3 pointers. Number 1 was connection. First, connect with your child. Number 2 was when you're correcting your child, make sure that you don't overcorrect your child. Have positive interaction with your child. Have realistic expectations from your child. Make sure that you don't overpower them, or you don't, put so many things on their plate that is not okay for the child at that particular time. Your child needs to be ready for certain things. Unless and until the child is not ready, the child is not going to accept it. So have realistic expectations from your child. Building negative self-image is completely no. So while you are talking about your child with someone or about your child to someone, make sure that you also have something positive. Or if at all you are addressing it to someone to whom you need to take guidance from, make sure your child is not listening at the moment. That is going to help, because if your child listens to all the negative things that you have to speak, it is going to help that build in their image. That personality is going to develop, and they're going to have this negative framework in front of them. So their self-belief is going to be low, and somewhere they might not think good about themselves. Another thing which I would like to share with is, many a times we as parents, we always tend to remove obstacles. We feel that बच्चे हैं नहीं कर पाएंगे, let me help them, ये नहीं होगा इनसे तो, let me help this. Or even if you all are playing puzzle or writing or coloring, you will tend to do you will tend to say that ये नहीं होगा, ये आप मत करो, only do this much. Or you might say that don't walk on this side, you might tend to fall. Right? Just let the child walk, let the child explore, be there for your child, but don't just remove those obstacles from the child. When the child removes the obstacle by themselves, they learn it better. And when they learn it better, they do it better. Just for a simple instance, I would say, when you give your child to write, or when there is a homework given to your child to write a full page of A, but if the child has not learned how to write A, do you think your child is going to write the letter A correctly? No. When the child is learning to write letter A correctly, the child might just write A, just a curvy part or a circle part, or it might just scribble something and just run away. The child will only write a complete full page of letter A when the child has learned to write letter. And the child will only learn to write letter A when the child will not run from that, when the child learns it. So if you are teaching your child, or if you want your child to learn particular things, may it be language, may it be numeracy, may it be certain concept, may it be speaking to someone, may it be going on stage, always use the method of playway, or always use the method of role play. When you do this, your child understand what is accepted from the child or acceptable from the child does it much better. Another thing is that always have roles and responsibilities for your child. A major point here is that when you give responsibilities to your child, the child feel more empowered, the child feel like a leader, and the child feels more confident about himself after doing those tasks. So in a house setting, there are parents, okay? Mother has certain roles, like if mother is cooking, father has certain roles at home, maybe laundry, or say doing a project on laptop, or maybe grandfather is coming home getting vegetables, or whatever. Every person at your home will be having certain roles. What is the child having role at your place? Child is not having any role. Whatever the child is demanding or asking or requesting, the child is getting. May it be water, may it be lunch, may it be food, clothing, everything. Here, it is very important for us as parents to share, or share a role or a responsibility to the child. For example, like every Sunday the child needs to water the plant, or the child needs to clear the dishes, or keep the dishes back in the machine or wash basin, or just keep the cloths in the machine, or maybe clear the place where the child was playing. These simple tasks help them to boost their confidence once they've achieved that, once they've completed the task. So once they know their role, they accomplish. And once they accomplish a certain task, they feel empowered about themselves. They feel good about themselves. And this helps them in building confidence. That is a major point that I would like to share. When a child feels accomplished, there is a certain pride that the child also feels, and that pride is shared with all of us. And when the child comes with the same pride, I want parents to appreciate that. I want parents to praise that, praise the efforts that the child has taken for certain things. And I'm sure your child will come up to you saying some other things that the child is able to do in your home, which you don't even realize that the child is able to do. Another thing is, give your child more opportunities to do, and also have positive interaction with your child. So there will be, in a day that your child, or you might have a negative interaction. You might just not knowingly but unknowingly tend to shout at your child, or you might be tired and something just have come out of your mouth, or you have just said something which has hurt your child a lot. Please, at this point of time, make sure that you quickly heal that. Make sure that you have positive interaction with your child. How do you have that? Nothing. Just sit with your child. Just tap, on their shoulder, or just talk about it. Talk about your own feelings. When you express, child learns to express. So that's one thing that helps the child to feel good about themselves, to feel, feel okay to share about themselves. And also it works wonders. When you have positive interaction with your child understands that although my mother or my father or this particular person from my family spoke to me in this certain way, but right now they told me why they did so, and also that how am I supposed to behave in this situation the next time. You need to mend this. Always have one particular timing in the day where you affirm with your child all the good things that your child has done. So, for example, if your child has come from the school and has removed the shoes properly at the shoe rack, appreciate that effort. Don't appreciate that at that point of time, it's okay. But at least have that one point of a time where you are spending this quality time with your child, and you tell your child that, today I saw you've kept the shoes back in the shoe rack, or I saw you reading that book all by yourself. I saw how you helped this one. I saw how you came out of the school. I saw how good work you've done writing at, in the pages that were given to you. I saw how you helped your friend. All these things, if you observe, even a one single thing or two or three things in a day that the child has done good, if you sit and tell your child all these things, children will feel that yes, someone has noticed this, someone has observed this, someone has seen good thing about me, and now I know how to behave. And when I do these things, I get appreciation. I know these things are right, and I'm a good person. All these things help in building a child's personality. So today, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell each one of you that although I've shared so many points, but today, at least during the night time, when you put your child to sleep, share at least three things what your child has done good in that entire day. And also, if the child has particular role to play at home, appreciate that effort. Every night have this ritual, and you will see a change in your child's personality. I hope that I've helped you in some or the other way. If you have any other doubts, if you have any other questions, you can connect with me on my Instagram page or on LinkedIn. There are details which will be shared. If at all you have any other doubts on this particular live session, you can post in your questions in the comment section. I'll make sure that I'll answer them. And I would love to hear your feedback for this particular thing. I appreciate your presence, and thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you, ECDF, for this opportunity. And I would be grateful to be a part of this show. Thank you.